Personally, I feel as a uni student, you're pressured to stay within the bounds of where you study. So being able to explore what you like and do not like is very beneficial for future employment. Hi, my name is Calvin, and I'm a marketing coordinator at Real Schools Education and studying at UNSW. What we're going to talk about today is the importance of trying something different. Joining me today, we have Samuel Lee, Emerging Solutions Engineer at Salesforce, a recent grad at UNSW, and Aaron Ngan, CEO of JA Australia, that helps students with entrepreneurship and work readiness for future employment. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Good to be here.
Yeah, awesome to be here.
Yeah, so if you could give us like a little 10-second spiel on what you've been up to and yeah, what's happening in your lives.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So I'm an emerging solution here in Salesforce. For the last 4 months, I just joined Salesforce as a company. And since then, I've been trying to leverage the platform and learn more about its products. And also trying to expand my network by helping UNSW kids or just university students in general, mentoring them, giving them some advice, and trying to create a new mentoring initiative within RSC as well. To you, Aaron.
Great. With JA Australia, like you mentioned, we've been working with high school students and university students to prepare them for entrepreneurship and employment. And one of the big things that we're really working towards is how do we get every single student in Australia access to compulsory entrepreneurship education. So just imagine a world where every single person grows up learning how to handle and identify problems powerfully and actually create solutions and trying things out and create prototypes that actually push the world towards a better place. So that's what we're working to. We're spending a lot of time at the moment moving our programs online. We're doing online workshop facilitated programs. We're looking at different programs that we can start doing so that we can increase our reach and also increase the accessibility of these programs for people who want them. And on the side, I've been also doing a lot of time developing content around how to present powerfully online. I do some speaker coaching and I've done speaker coaching for some TEDx youth events and also different competitions and pitching. And at the moment, we're spending a lot of time going, how can we actually transition that and do that training online? So it's a very exciting time for us over here.
That's great to hear, man. So getting straight into the questions, the first question is for both of you. What would be the first words of advice there to a student who wants to actually try something different and change up their lifestyle?
In terms of for someone wanting to try something different and really shake up their life, firstly, 2 things, right? The first thing is just go and do it. Okay. Yeah. This is going to contrast a little bit with the second thing, which is actually know what you want to do. But in terms of just doing it, a lot of people, we get in our heads, we start to think, is this the perfect thing? Is this for me? Is this going to work out? Should I apply for this? We often get all these doubts in our heads where we go, oh, I don't know if this is going to match up or it's going to work. So inside of the world of actually just going and doing it, just going and trying, that's where you start to get the most options. That's where you starting to take action. And once you start taking those actions, you're able to start actually building up a sense of experience. A lot of times, if you're going towards a specific goal, it's like, I want to get a job in this very particular company. You want to start looking at, okay, that might be the specific realization of that, but what does that actually represent? What are my values? What are the things which I want to do there? Which kind of comes into my second point. Know what you want to learn. Once you know what you want to learn, you can start going, how do I find this in different places? And in fact, if you've got a what do I want to learn focus area, you can start to realize pretty quickly that you can start to learn that thing almost anywhere that you go if you put your mind to it. So I'll start with those 2 things and we'll explore some more later.
Yeah, great. For you, Samuel?
Yeah, I just want to touch into Aaron's first point where he mentioned go out there and do it. I totally agree with that. Now, I may not have the experience that Aaron has because just from the way you spoke, it's so inspirational. I love it. But sharing my perspective as a recent grad, I think that I've had a degree in engineering. I've been doing that for the last 5 years before I graduated, and now I'm in a technology company. But my journey is a little bit unconventional compared to a typical engineering degree, as students in those engineering degrees, right? So my 3rd year, I actually had a choice between choosing an engineering role with Unilever or a technology strategy role with Ernst & Young. Now, I realized that engineering isn't something that I always wanted to do. mostly because it didn't align with my passions and my interests. So I decided to actually pivot entirely and try something in the Big Four, something that combined a little bit of my interest in technology, but also my passion in just trying something new and exploring and getting that new knowledge. And I have to say that it's the best decision I've made in terms of my professional career. Because joining Ernst & Young actually opened my eyes and made me realize that I really love technology. It's so awesome and so cool. And by joining EY, it also opened up so many doorways for me afterwards. But first and foremost, this helped me understood that engineering isn't my passion, but technology really is. And there's so much more to technology rather than just creating that software, right? There's also the concept of implementing it, concept of understanding how whatever technologies you're looking at works with all the other technologies that exist in the entire world. And I may not have that skill set yet, but pulling through with Aaron's second point, it helped me identify those skill sets that I want to add on to my own personal portfolio. And I actually utilized that when I transitioned into my second internship within a startup. In that space, I could actually share those knowledge that I've acquired over time and help the startup improve and grow upon creating reports, creating documents for them to track and understand their leads. And by utilizing those two skill sets, it also opened the doorway for me to join a technology company like Salesforce, which, to be honest, it's totally unexpected for me in terms of my own personal career plan, but it's been such a great opportunity so far, and I love every moment of it. So if you had to ask me if I had any words of advice to students who want to try something new, definitely go out there and do it. Be brave, try something new, because at the end of the day, even if it's something that you didn't like, it helps you realize that this isn't what you like, and gives you that opportunity to pivot into something else. And also at the same time, gain those other skill sets that you could also transfer to those new passions or those new interests that you have. So yeah.
Yeah, great answer, man. Following on to that, I know that's very hard just as a student. It just feels overwhelming to try different things. You're just afraid to, lose and, get set back. So what do you think is kind of the mindset that students should generally have when they actually start trying new things and start trying to get into that a different lifestyle and things? What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I think when I said that we sometimes look at the world in terms of in terms of goals as opposed to systems, something to realize that if we set this goal of I'm going to have this particular career at this particular level by this particular time, often what will happen is on the way we're constantly referring back to that goal, and we are looking at, have I achieved this goal yet? Yes, no. And if we set it as a goal, often what's going to be there is I haven't got there. We progress a bit. Have I got there? No, I haven't. I failed. And then one day we get there, and sometimes the experience is, okay, what now? So what? Like, what's going on? We realize that the thing that we set our mind on, we set a goal of, isn't actually what's going to get us fulfillment. And we see people kind of chasing money or chasing that shiny job, and always kind of being unsatisfied and wanting to go for something bigger. So often that can be really overwhelming. Like you said, Calvin, it can be really overwhelming to go, okay, I want to achieve big things. I want to achieve big things, but I've got these big goals and I'm actually scared of not getting there. I'm scared of saying, hey, I want to do this thing, but I'm not there yet. So the answer I would give here doesn't actually come from me. It comes from my favorite book, which is How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big by Scott Adams. And he talks about using systems and creating systems that actually keep on giving you multiple chances to win and very few or zero chances to lose, okay? And what that might look like is if you're looking for an internship, the system might be, how do I chat to 5 different people every single day? By chatting to 5 people every day, or even 1 person every day, you might get yourself in that habit. You might start to go, okay, I'm reaching out to these people. After a week, you start to know, okay, I can talk about these different things. After 2 or 3 weeks, you might still not have an internship, but you might be starting to connect with different people. After a month, you start to follow up, you've chatted to 20 plus different people, and you're really looking at developing those skills every single day and making that progress. So there's another quote which goes, progress not perfection. If we chase perfection, then we're constantly kind of measuring ourselves up against what we imagine perfection to be. But if we're making progress and constantly creating those systems, that's really powerful. So for students to take on, I would say, look at the systems that you can create. What are some of the things which you can do that are might occur to you as quite small, but will make the difference? And then those things will give you multiple chances of success. And you're also kind of building up skills along the way that are going to make the difference regardless of what happens for the result.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's so good that Aaron's always going at starting first, because I feel that my points, I feel like I can really add on to his. So if I had to give an advice to students if they want to try to explore new things, I come from a uniform organization. So I spent 2 years in the Singapore police force. And the way we say things are a little bit different, but there's a mindset that a lot of US personnel who serve in their own forces, they always say these 3 words. And these 3 words are something that I've used since entering the service, right? And it's called embrace the suck. Now, a lot of times people would think that, you know, it's just about doing things and grinding it out. But I think it's the total opposite, right? Because the suck is a representation of your adversity, all your obstacles, all your challenges that comes before you could do something new. And embracing the suck means that you're willing to go through these challenges and learn and grow. So every time you fail, don't think of it as a failure, a setback, right? Think of it as a learning opportunity. And that's the mindset I think students should really get themselves into, because every failure you have is actually a lesson for you to go through. There was a quote, I can't remember by who it was, but I really enjoy it because it mentioned that whenever you succeed, you party, but every time you fail, right, you learn. So always use this opportunity to keep learning and keep growing. That's the mindset I think every student should have, because if you want to try something new, there's without a doubt, this is something you're not prepared for. That means you're definitely gonna fail, right? But if you're able to keep coming back and keep learning, keep growing, you're able to overcome these challenges. This is a skill set that you're slowly honing. This is the expertise you're gonna have to add on to your own personal portfolio, and you're gonna get really good at it as you keep pushing through it, as you keep embracing this suck. Then following through what Aaron said, you'll be able to identify what you want to do, and then so on and so forth. So for all the students that's watching this interview, just remember, embrace the suck. These are challenges that's gonna try to stop you, but don't hesitate. Keep going, keep trying.
I think I resonated with that. Thank you for sharing that. With a lot of people in uni kind of looking towards societies and all that, what's your kind of personal take on trying different things in a society-based action and events, do you think?
The last thing you want on your resume is, I was a member of society, and then when someone asks you about that, all you say is that you showed up and attended the events, okay? What you really want to show is that you've jumped in, you've joined a community, you've made some sort of contribution. Now, the highest level of participation for society as an individual member is making some sort of commitment, right? Most people either they sign up to a society, and a lot of members actually never actually attend the thing. So they jump straight to, I've signed up, and then they leave. A lot of people will sign up and then they participate, they attend the events, and that's great. But it's where you get to those next 2 stages, which is contribution and commitment, where you can actually make a difference, not only for yourself and for your own development, but for people around you, people in the society, but also people for whom the society is for. So each society will have a purpose. They'll have a purpose that they exist for. Sometimes it's, we just want to enjoy this particular topic together, or we want to explore this sort of thing which we all enjoy doing. Or maybe it's, we want to develop ourselves in this professional field, if it's a faculty-based or topic-based society. So have a look for where can you contribute? Where can you put your hand up and say, hey, I want to actually do something? And typically that can be even simpler than most people realize. It can be as simple as going, hey, can I give some feedback? That's a contribution. Hey, can I actually help out at this event? Hey, you're running a barbecue. Can I come along and just help carry things to the different place? All of those little things make a difference, and that often opens the door to some form of commitment where you actually say, hey, I want to actually join the committee, whether it's a subcommittee or as an exec role. Those are the types of positions which, when you dive into them, really give you a chance to actually demonstrate real life skills, corporate sort of work environments, and often achieving proper KPIs, whether they're set for the organization or not. Right? The most powerful student resumes which feature their student exec experience sound a bit like this, right? So I led a team of 5 student executives to run a student society focused on business students. As a society, we ran 20 student events with an average attendance of 50 to 100 students. We coordinated partnerships with these top companies, and we ultimately ran different workshops, all aimed towards developing the leadership awareness, professional life awareness, and professional skills of our 2,000 members. Doesn't matter if the numbers are big or small, the moment you can start to put something on paper and actually talk about something in an interview, where you can reference key numbers, key results that you were able to meaningfully contribute to, that makes a massive difference. And it sets you so far apart from someone who's just putting on their resume that I was a member of the society, maybe I attended some events. So the key takeaway there is, and this is where to start, is to go, where can I contribute? What can I put my hand up for? And what can I just come along and do? Even in the sense of like, I want to help out, or I want to learn some things here. What can I do to actually be a part of this community, not just a participant in this community?
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
On to Samuel.
That was so cool. Yeah, so back at uni, I actually joined 2 societies. I always share this with people because the 2 societies I joined are vastly different from each other. One was because I was passionate about it, and the other because I wanted to develop some professional skill set. So the first one that I joined for passion is the UNSW Muay Thai Club. And I joined it because I have a strong interest in martial arts, and I really wanted to contribute back to the society who first started me down that pathway. And in that society, I had the privilege to serve as the events coordinator and the student administrator. Events coordinator is basically, how do I help plan amazing parties for our members so that at the start and at the end of each semester, they're going to have a good time, right? So that they forget all the struggles they had throughout. And for the general administrator, I basically just help students log in. I basically help coordinate events training events within our society, as well as just log students in so that we understand how many students have done, how many classes, and we can track that data. And so when I shared the Muay Thai Club, I shared that this is my passion because I wanted something to help me relieve stress from the normal society, from normal student life, and also try to pursue this passion of mine so that I can have a bit of fun as well at the same time. But with Mechatronics Society, which I served as a secretary, it was a bit of a struggle for me throughout the year because first and foremost, I had not a lot of passion for it. But and so that really taught me that concept of embrace the suck. That was all that really stood in my mind every time I went to every single meeting. However, throughout the year, what I've learned is that every single member within the Mechatronics Society, they were so intelligent, they were so passionate in making a difference, not specifically in mechatronics, but in the lives of each student. And that really taught me the concept of, okay, I want to be like those individuals as well. So I want to make that difference. I want to change each student's life. And so that taught me how to differentiate between the 2 societies and develop those skill sets of time management. How do I juggle 2 societies, as well as a part-time job, as well as studies? And that also taught me how to organize events. How do I coordinate with people from different societies so we can make really cool events, or we can run really interesting topics that taught our students different skill sets. And actually, these 2 different societies, when I started applying for internships and for graduate jobs, they were really key conversational topics that I had with my interviews, because not only showcase my personal interests in those societies, but also showcase some sort of leadership qualities or other skill sets that the interviewers were actually looking for as well. So that's my little take on why students join societies and juggling between the 2 types of whether they have passion for it or whether they want to do.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for you guys' tips. Those were my 3 questions. Did you guys have any other final remarks or final tips that you would like to give to the students?
Just to say, go out and try things. Go out and try things. Go out and learn new things, and see everything as an opportunity to learn. Everything is an opportunity to connect with new people, and everything as something that can actually take your career further. And that the biggest thing that you can do inside of that is just take some form of action.
In terms of other tips, make sure that for everything that you do, try to find a reason why you're doing it. Even if it's not your passion, if it's developing a skill set, definitely go out and do it. Understand how you're going to go out there and get those skill set, and ultimately remember what the results that you want to achieve, and keep making sure that refine your how, so that eventually you get to the what you want to achieve, the end results that you want to get. So that would be my tip to everyone. And if you want to know more, research the golden circle, because that's my favorite thought process every time I try to start something new, whether it's a new initiative or whether it's a new aspect in my professional career.
Cheers. Thank you guys. So that was it for trying something different. I appreciate you guys coming and giving your advice, and thank you so much.